Hi guys, and welcome back to another StarCraft replay cast. Once again we have a very interesting engagement here in between the two pro players. So let me just start by introducing the players to you guys as we are spawning here in the lower right in the red. It is 5-4-6-4-5-4-4, but I'm just gonna call him 5 here. And his opponent, of course you know who this person is, spawning here in the upper left part in the blue. It is ARTOSIS, a very known streamer on a streaming platform, which I guess I'm not allowed to say here on YouTube, and also a very known YouTuber. Also does some professional casting, so yeah, much better caster than I am, I would say. So yeah, quite an interesting Terran versus Protoss we have here once again on a 4 spawning location map. And let's just see exactly what is going to happen here. Just like in the previous replays here onto this channel, we are going to be checking the build order very soon, but by the looks of it, both players playing very standardly here, opening up with a supply depot, and the Protoss planting here his pylon. Notice how once again he's planting the pylon very next to the gas. So perhaps this gives you a small advantage. Perhaps your probes are mining that gas much faster. Let's just see if this is going to be the option. As he's nicely continuing here with his gateway. Now the next building, of course, here for ARTOSIS could be a barracks, but he could also go for a fast expansion. Quite a much greedier gameplay here, but no, he's actually opted to go for a barracks. The 4 spawning location map could have actually allowed him to go for a fast expansion build, as also his command center looking very nicely into a golden shape. He's also going for gas, so very fast gas. The same can be said here for the Protoss. So yeah, let's have a look indeed if it is going to be ARTOSIS going for some mech units, some tanks, some vultures, Goliaths, or is it going to be an early aggression with some stimmed marines, with some medics? Could be a possibility. As he's moving out now at around the 2-minute mark with his SCV. This should be the cybernetic score for the Protoss. Of course, they really like to go into the Dragoons, and also nicely hidden pylon here. He might add some buildings here, and I believe the vision from the pylon could actually allow him to plant a building around here, as you also have some remains from gas here and a nice looking tree. So let's have a look what the next buildings are going to be. Another pylon, as the Protoss is now scouting the map. So very late scout for 5 here as he's moving out onto the map. Very soon he's going to meet up with the SCV, and this should be of course the factory for ARTOSIS. So yeah, let's have a look. Very soon ARTOSIS is going to find out the buildings here, the main base from the Protoss, but there's a nice, there should be a robotics facility bay. No, it's actually a Citadel of Adun. So quite an interesting build order here for the Protoss. Let's see if ARTOSIS is going to find the hidden building in the upper part. He's actually moving out his SCV, but I believe he's not going to scout the part here. So right now he thinks it's going to be just Dragoons, early Dragoons, but little does he know that there is a Citadel of Adun added here, and there might be other buildings hidden very soon for the Protoss. So quite an interesting build order here for the Protoss, as we might see speed being upgraded very soon for the Zealots. No, it's actually a Protoss Templar archive, but where exactly is he hiding that one? Here into this location. So nice, he could have hidden it here as well, but as long as he does keep this SCV away with a Dragoon, he should be fine. Dragoon starts shooting, but the SCV is actually moving forward, and now ARTOSIS could see the Templar archive, so he could know that it is a rush, a Dark Templar rush, as he now very likely clicked onto this Templar archive. But of course it could get cancelled, so he's not seeing the Citadel yet. He knows that some other buildings are hidden, so a better option here for the Protoss would have been of course to hide the Templar archive into this location and then go for, I believe it is looking like a Dark Templar rush. Yes indeed, we do have Dark Templars, 2 of them being spawned. So now the the Terran should of course know what exactly is coming towards his way. He can defend this with some mines in the front. There are no shuttles yet being produced. Of course, there is no robotics facility bay. The Protoss pretty much has to walk those Dark Templars towards the base from the Terran. But yeah, like I told you, the mines, planting some mines here would be very useful for the Terran, as now the upgrades will very likely finish very soon for him. Some Marines are actually moving out, but we also have Dragoons here also. This will be quite deadly versus ARTOSIS, as ARTOSIS of course is going to secure his ramp with some mines. So as soon as the Dark Templars will walk here forward, they will take some damage, and more mines are getting planted here. Even a nice surround now here by ARTOSIS with his marines, with his vultures. He just needs to be careful not to move out too far away as the first Dark Templar are out. Let's see if there's scan. There is no scan available for him. The income the Dark Templar, some marines might fall. More and more mines are getting planted, and of course the Dark Templar says thank you here to ARTOSIS as 3, even 4 marines have been snapped here already. He's going to try to lure him into a mine. But yeah, the damage has already been done as 4, even 5 marines have been snapped. Well, let's just see what ARTOSIS is going to be doing with those vultures. No speed has been done yet. The vultures are pretty good, however, into moving forward. Speed, however, will be finished very soon. So this can be also very strong versus the Protoss going into his main. Lots and lots of splash damage is being dealt with the mines. And the Protoss still has no observatory. He's just going now for his robotics facility bay, and I don't see an observatory by him. So with this, was ARTOSIS has the Protoss pinned down into his main, and I believe only some cannons could give some vision here for the Protoss. Now in comes the Terran once again with the vulture. Speed has been done, and he might snap lots and lots of workers here, as even the mines are getting some good connections. So very smart move here by ARTOSIS with his vultures on the ground, with the mines being planted. And yeah, the Dragoons on hold position, taking more and more damage. The expansion is actually taking more and more damage. The Dark Templar is here in position, and there's still no vision for the Protoss versus this, and this can be very, very crucial here, very deadly, as the Dragoons take more and more damage from the vultures. Yeah, more and more mines, so we'll get some connections. The vultures also take some damage, but in the end it is all worthy as more and more getting snapped here. And at the same time you can see it on the minimap, ARTOSIS takes his expansion. He has more workers, 3 more workers, as he's adding more and more of those vultures to move forward here onto the map. So yeah, quite an interesting and aggressive move out here by ARTOSIS. I really like that. He's not staying back home, he's just moving out. He's trying to deal as much economic damage as he can versus his opponent as we are closing in towards the 10-minute mark. So the Dark Templar still on hold position. I believe he just wants to see what units are coming towards the base, as we see more and more factories being built here. So we do indeed have a mech build order here for the Terran. Pretty standard stuff, as finally the first observer is now moving out around the 8-minute mark. So very late observer, of course, given the fact that it was a Dark Templar rush, but it has been nicely held by ARTOSIS with his vultures. And we even have a tank now moving forward, but siege tank ability is now just being researched, so ARTOSIS is not going to be successful here against so many Dragoons. I don't know if the Protoss has upgraded here his range for the Dragoons, probably not. And yeah, it looks like we are heading in towards a small stalemate. All of a sudden the Dark Templar once again on action. He is going to be taken out very soon, but still 5 kills for him, very, very strong. As ARTOSIS looks like he's going to secure his second base, his second expansion actually here onto the map. And the Protoss is going to see this, of course, with his observer. So at the same time he might also try to go for an expansion very soon. Upgrade wise we should be at 0 upgrades. Same for ARTOSIS here, so pretty standard stuff as things have settled down. And I believe the Terran is of course going into mass mech versus those Dragoons. He's trying of course to inflict some damage, but the Dragoons hold the position, and we might see him go for some dropship. Dropships would have been a very good idea with a starport, dropping the units here into this location. The vultures would be so fast and dealing damage towards this base, as it is not protected by any cannons, just a couple of Dragoons. So yeah, dropship harassment will also be a very nice answer here for ARTOSIS, but ARTOSIS plays it much safer. He wants to secure his expansion as slowly but steadily the Dragoons are moving forward. And here we're going to be seeing if range has been indeed done. And one tank might get snapped, but lots and lots of splash damage. Nice micro here by the Terran, by ARTOSIS. But yeah, the Protoss very nicely sniping tank after tank and just keeps on moving forward. So ARTOSIS needs to bring some reinforcements forward, but the tanks just keep on taking more and more damage. The SCVs might have to repair it, and the other Dragoons going really nicely here versus the Terran sniping the important units, sniping the tanks. As at the same time he's also expanding here into this location with a forge, an interesting hidden forge, and as he's moving out once again with the Dragoons. We also see a Stargate. We might be seeing, yes, some Arbiters, so very smart move here by the Protoss. Goes for Arbiters, a very strong unit. There comes the scan, so ARTOSIS knows what is happening, but he's very likely going to turtle up a little bit more and adding more and more of his tanks, Vultures and Goliaths, as a maxed out Terran can be very strong versus all of the ground units from the Protoss. So indeed we're going to be seeing some Arbiter gameplay here by the Protoss, and the tank is very soon going to be taken out. Misclick here by the Protoss, finally he's able to take it out, as now more and more tanks do arrive to defend this location. Worker wise pretty much at the same worker amount, 49 versus before, as we have passed the 10-minute mark. And let's have a look when exactly, or if the Protoss is going to move out with his Arbiter. Are we going to be seeing some recalls? We might even see some carriers, always a good option versus the Terran, as now we see actually some workers being transferred here for the Protoss versus his opponent onto the expansion point. And yeah, more and more is getting added here by ARTOSIS as he's slowly but steadily moving out onto the map just to secure that expansion. And yeah, more and more is getting also added here by the Protoss with the 0-0 upgrades. We finally have a shuttle for him. Let's check the tanks, also 0-0 being upgraded, but we can see some upgrades actually started here for both players. At the same time, the Protoss once again expanding here, but some Vultures might intercept this very soon as they are moving now forward. So it's be very good for ARTOSIS. He should be able to snipe the probe, should be able to go for the expansion now, but he's just moving forward. He might plant some mines, but interestingly enough he's trying to, of course, deal damage to the other expansion point. If he's sniping these Dragoons, it will be very strong for him, as he should be able to snap now so many workers. So Protoss at 61, he's going to drop at least 3, or it is 3-4, so nice job here by ARTOSIS sniping 5 workers from the Protoss. So pretty good damage has been dealt economic wise. But let's not forget the Protoss expansion has not been touched here, so this game continues on. The Protoss will have the upper hand into the economy, so ARTOSIS tries of course to counter it with some Vultures, but in the end he's playing very defensively, of course, to secure his expansions as well, and to just add more and more of those mechanical units. We even have a starport here, so we might see some dropship harassment. Would be great, like I told you, to drop some Vultures. 4 Vultures can be added into a dropship. So this is exactly why the Protoss has added a cannon here into this location, expecting of course a dropship harassment by the Terran. But yeah, no such thing yet. The Protoss is still on the defense, still adding more and more of his units, having already 120 supply versus 138. But the Protoss could of course abuse this. He could of course mass expand all over the map, as his Arbiters will also arrive very soon here onto the map. So yeah, let's see if he's going to be the one doing the first attack. Some Protoss units were idle here, but could of course do some recalls into this location. He just needs to be careful not to teleport into some mines. This would also be a nice location here, and the production buildings as well. So this is exactly why we see some mines being added here by the Terran, so the main could also be a good target for the Protoss. Let's see if this is indeed going to be his next target. As more and more Dragoons are getting produced, we see the upgrades here for the Terran. We even have EMP shockwave, so of course ARTOSIS is going to counter the Arbiter gameplay with some EMPs from the science vessels that are also getting produced here. So science vessels just to counter the Arbiter gameplay here for the Protoss, and at the same time the Protoss seems to be securing his other expansion point. But hold on, we actually have a move out by ARTOSIS with his units versus the Dragoons, and here you can see how tanky Dragoons are versus the Vulture. Very strong unit to have, but let's not forget those mines. So yeah, ARTOSIS on the move out. Let's see what he's going to be doing. I believe he's going to try to attack this location here. At the meantime, we do have an Arbiter with full energy, so we could see a recall happening very soon into this location. There is enough energy as he's flying by all of the units. Even an observer sees now all of the mines. This can be very crucial here, as he could drop all of those units here, even going straight towards the main, and this could be a successful recall for the Protoss, but no such thing. I believe it was just a fake attempt by him. to scare the Terran away and even force him to unsiege. So a nice move by the Protoss, an empty Arbiter here, which is very likely going to get sniped very soon by ARTOSIS, or could this be even a illusion? Let's see what the plans from the Protoss are, as finally he's going to lose the Arbiter. I believe it was an illusion, but I'm not sure of it. So yeah, perhaps the real Arbiter just sitting here back waiting for the Terran to do the first move. Some upgrades should be finished, one for him and one weapons upgrade here for the Terran as well. But in the meantime, the Protoss just keeps on expanding. He has more workers than ARTOSIS. Lots and lots of mines are getting planted. At the same time, we see ARTOSIS securing the expansion point here at the 12 o'clock position as we are reaching the halftime of this game. And yes, some mines will get some good connections here. But there is an observer in the air, so the Protoss nicely clearing the path towards the expansion points here from him. But the Arbiter will of course be the real important unit here for the Protoss. Still some mines are getting some good connections, even though there is an observer in the air. So yeah, let's see, we look like it's going to be a regroup here for the Protoss as he's moving towards, I believe it should be this location right here, but it is heavily defended. Let's have a look what the Protoss is doing. He's clearing more and more of those mines. Things are on the high ground. There's a lot are actually moving forward. Mines deal lots and lots of splash damage, and more damage is being taken here by the Protoss, and only Dragoons are being left. Even an EMP has been launched. Not that many tanks have fallen, so the Protoss has of course to retreat, as all of his zealots in the front have been sniped. So good defense here by the Terran, forcing the Protoss to move back. But at the same time, as the Protoss attacks, he also keeps on expanding, and we've seen many Protosses do this, as we might see a recall happening very soon by the Arbiter. And is he going to be successful to fly all over those turrets? We're about to find out, as he's very likely going to be sending an observer first in the front to soak up the first damage by the turrets. Let's see if he's indeed going to be successful, or he's just going to come back. No, he's actually risking it here, moving forward and actually recalling all of those units, but straight into those mines. So lots and lots of splash damage has been taken here by the Protoss. Still some units are being left alive. The Zealot hero, Zealot in the front, takes out all of those mines, but yeah, some units will have to be brought back by ARTOSIS to fend this off in the end. So a good move here by the Protoss, but he has lost also many units, and I believe ARTOSIS should of course be able to clear this. The tank in the back dealing lots and lots of splash damage, and this will be cleared. Importantly, however, here for the Protoss, he did kill all of the turrets, as we see some action happening here. So the next recall would be even more deadlier, as there are not that many mines being placed now down, and we actually see the Protoss pretty much engaging here, but the wall-off has been completed by ARTOSIS. The Zealots are in the front trying to deal damage towards the wall-off, but yeah, in the end finally some supply depots are falling, and now the Zealots can deal splash damage with the mines from the Terran versus the units. So lots and lots of mines on the ground, dealing lots and lots of splash damage towards all of the units, but there's so many nicely hidden and protected tanks here for the Terran as we are closing towards the 20-minute mark. So nice triangle here of turrets protecting this tank. Very smart move here by the Protoss. At the same time, there has been a counter here by ARTOSIS versus the expansion attempt here for the Protoss. So the Protoss playing more safely is actually adding another expansion here, as we see another move out, but there should be those turrets replaced. Let's see if the Protoss is once again going to engage this location right here. Could be the next step for the Arbiter, as it's not that well defended here by ARTOSIS, so he could just drop all of those units straight into those SCVs. Yeah, there's lots and lots of tanks, and actually the splash damage could deal damage towards the SCV. So let's just see what exactly the Protoss is going to be doing. He might attack here. Yes, indeed, a great recall. The tanks now actually dealing splash damage towards those Dragoons, but also dealing damage towards the SCVs. So some SCVs will fall here for ARTOSIS, as he has dropped to 66 workers now. It will be cleared, but some SCVs, look at that, 55 workers now all of a sudden. So the tanks actually work now against ARTOSIS. It would have been good for him to unsiege them really very quickly, but of course lots and lots of action happening all around the map. So sadly for him, he has lost some SCVs. He has dropped to 55, and I believe this could be the answer for him. He's actually feeling confident to move out onto the map and to attack 1 to 2 upgrades. Let's check the Protoss 1 armor and 2 weapons upgrade for him, as it looks like ARTOSIS pretty much is going to slowly but steadily move you forward. All his tanks and all of those vultures and the reinforcements should also get poured forward very soon. As the other mines are being planted here in the middle of the map just to engage some reinforcements. The newly established base by the Protoss is very likely going to get killed very soon by ARTOSIS. Has so many tanks on the ground, 166 supply as he's moving forward. The Protoss tries of course to engage the reinforcements. Nice job by him taking out a couple of tanks. Of course every tank counts a lot now, as he's very likely going to try to surround the units from the Terran, but the Terran has this wall of here and this could work into his favor as he's now sieging up. There is an arbiter, great EMP shockwave, as all of those units will be visible now here for the Terran. And yeah, lots and lots of mines have been planted. I believe the Terran ARTOSIS really is going to try to go for the next expansion point very soon. The Protoss respawning, but there's so much defensive here still being left by the Terran. And the ARTOSIS keeps on pushing forward. Now the next production buildings will be attacked by him. The middle of the map is pretty much in control for the Protoss, but ARTOSIS looks like he's going to go straight to unpower those gateways, not allow any more units being produced, as he's also nicely sieging up here, going straight for the workers, straight for the cannons. The Protoss tries to engage the reinforcements. We might see a recall. No, it's just a stasis trap. And yeah, ARTOSIS should be able to clear this very soon, as he's having a great control. The Protoss tries his best with some better gameplay here, with some high temper storms. Lots and lots of damage is being actually taken. Lots and lots of tanks are being taken out of the game as the Dragoons are moving forward. And yeah, of course the vultures will stand no chance against so many Dragoons, so ARTOSIS will have to uplift his base and just wait for his reinforcements to pull forwards, especially those 2 tanks in the back, just to deal more and more damage. Finally this is going to get cleared, but what cost ARTOSIS losing some mining time, and in the end some SCVs have fallen here as well, as he has dropped 257 workers. So yeah, at the same time he's also punishing the expansions from the Protoss, as yeah, still anyone's game. We actually see him actually move more and more forward towards the expansion points, and the vultures now will deal massive amounts of damage towards the economy from the Protoss, as more and more workers will be snapped here. So Protoss dropping all of a sudden also to 55 workers. More and more are getting sniped, as the tank will also deal great damage towards the units. But yeah, in the end 52 workers versus the 57, as this base is still being untouched by the Terran. But as I say, these vultures are moving forward, and they could very easily snap the 2 gateways and the 2 cannons. And they're also nicely planting some mines just to have more and more control of the map. So ARTOSIS is doing a nice multitasking here onto this map. He should be able to snipe the 2 cannons, or is just 2 cannons, so he can be able to engage here. Or is he going straight for the worker? No, he's going straight for the cannons. Yeah, those cannons are pretty good versus the vultures as well, and I believe some workers will be sniped very soon by him. So yeah, the Protoss just sending a small group to take those vultures out and just to secure his base here as well. It's still anyone's game, same worker amount, same, not that much of a supply, but remember the Terrans do have tanks, and those tanks, if they're nicely protected, they can be very deadly against the ground forces for the Protoss. So yeah, slowly but steadily we're moving towards the 25th minute mark. Still lots and lots of high tempers have been added here by the Protoss. So is this going to be the answer from the Protoss? High temper storms versus all of those clumped up together tanks, high temper storms with arbiters, stasis trap. Is this going to be the answer from him, as he's also expanding all over the map once again? And a new base here for the Terran as well. So let's see who's going to be making the first move. The newly established bases will of course be the next target, but they're so nicely getting defended here by the Terran. By ARTOSIS does a nice job blocking the entrance with some supply depots. We see our move out, the tank might get snapped. Let's see. The high ground is of course in control of the Terran, so it would be suicide here for the Protoss to engage. So he has to move back. He has to wait for his reinforcements, as it's just patrolling the map, just trying to have as much control as possible as more and more of his reinforcements do arrive here. There's some vultures are getting a nice pick up here, nicely killing those high temper storms. Some vultures will fall of course as well. So a very balanced engagement here indeed, still in one's game. Let's check the upgrades once again very quickly. 2 to 3. As ARTOSIS also have 1 to 2 here for him. As we see the vultures once again moving out, and now this expansion right here is pretty much exposed. All of those vultures should be able to take it out as they're being protected by the mines, and actually the mines might have worked here versus ARTOSIS as the damage has been done here, and ARTOSIS should be able to take out this expansion very soon versus his opponent. Not only that, but this one here as well, so the Protoss might try to add a cannon or two here just to have more and more protectiveness. And yeah, 2 arbiters here, still not that many massive recalls by the Protoss. Let's see if he's going to change his mind and perhaps go for the next attack, as the Dragoon is of course going to be taken out, and ARTOSIS might try to engage once again into this location. So yeah, cannons once again take damage, but yeah, cannons are very good versus those vultures as the reinforcements are pulling forward here for the Protoss. And yeah, let's see, some units are still left alive here for the Protoss. Might try to expand here into this location as well. This will be cleared. One cannon has fallen here as well, but we actually see how good cannons are versus the Terran ground units versus the vultures, as we see an attempt once again with a arbiter. Is going to be successful into recalling here some units. Yes indeed, he's recalling straight, not taking so much damage, and now even a stasis trap has been used before he died. A great EMP shockwave now being used by ARTOSIS to counter this, and now we finally see great storms being added here by the Terran, but another EMP shockwave as he has to go into those arbiters. So a successful drop here by the Protoss, and ARTOSIS has dropped 252 workers as the Protoss is dealing some good economic damage towards his opponent right here. So nice drop here by him, as I believe more and more of those recalls will happen very soon. 20 more workers here for the Protoss as he's knocking here at the door from this expansion with lots and lots of units. Not that many tanks are being left alive here for ARTOSIS, as there's just some vultures planting some mines, and yeah, some units in the middle of the map clearing the mines of course, and we do see the reinforcements also pulling forward. So another recall is very likely going to happen very soon, just to take out the newly established bases from the Protoss, sorry, from the Terran. And yeah, the tank finally will push this back, but we need to be careful at this one arbiter with lots and lots of energy. And let's have a look if indeed he really wants to finish the job here. There's just 2 tanks guarding in lots and lots of mines on the ground, so this spot right here would be very good into recalling. At the same time, those vultures still not giving up. ARTOSIS tries his best of course, but Dragoons are of course the perfect counter towards all of those vultures. And let's not forget that he even has some cannons on the high ground, so 2 cannons, actually 1 cannon. Oh, we actually have a drop here happening from our ARTOSIS, so nice move by him. He's actually now being able to punish the economy from the Protoss, so a nice move. It caught me even off guard. Finally he's using the dropship, so I believe the dropship harassment could have been done much earlier, and it would have been much more successful. So still a good move here by the Terran, showing us how good the dropships actually are, especially with vultures and tanks. He's still into this location, still dealing damage. So the Protoss has to bring more and more of those units into securing his base. And hold on, we actually see now a move forward. Sadly, the EMP is actually very late. Actually, it was a good EMP, so somehow it's still the recall has happened here, and lots of storm once again dealing massive amounts of splash damage towards the units. So all of a sudden ARTOSIS is dropping to 38 workers. Tried of course his best to punish the economy here, but in the end he has lost his an important expansion here, as he's not mining from this location. He's only mining from this location, but this one will be very much soon depleted. So a nice move by the Protoss, punishing the economy from ARTOSIS as he has to retreat into a better location. So good move here by the Protoss. Some units will be intercepted. Still a large army for ARTOSIS as he's now pushing out with Goliaths, with tanks, with vultures at the same time into the newly established bases here for the Protoss. So the Protoss has to regroup, he has to come back. he is going to intercept some tanks here, so a little bit of a mistake perhaps by ARTOSIS. This is splitting his troop. He needs to regroup them as he might get surrounded. Great storm once again, a second storm. So those storms very deadly against all of the clumped up together units by ARTOSIS, as some units will be intercepted here by the units from the Protoss. So yeah, let's see where exactly ARTOSIS is going to attack. Very likely into the newly established bases on the high ground. He is sieging up. He's trying to take control of the middle of the map. EMP shockwave is nicely getting landed, but the mass vessels has also been taken out as more and more units are now moving forward over the Terran. And yeah, slowly but steadily the siege will continue. It looks like ARTOSIS really wants to attack the production buildings from the Protoss. Needs to make up his mind, as some units are also moving here out. So yeah, slowly but steadily he's moving forward towards the production buildings, but lots and lots of storms are getting casted here by the Protoss as the high tempers are moving forward. Lots and lots of high tempers for him. Looks like the splash damage is really strong versus all of those tanks. ARTOSIS deals good damage on the ground, but he also gets punished by those high temper storms, and not that many tanks are being left alive for him, as some Archons are now getting spawned. So after using the high temper storm, the Archons are getting spawned here, moving forward, and in comes the reinforcements. A massive amount of reinforcements for the Protoss. I believe he should be able to clear the small amount of those tanks by the Terran. Let's check the upgrades very soon. It's 3 armor with 3 weapons, so very strong defenses for him, very strong stuff for the Protoss, as he's even moving now forward into this location. So trying to catch the newly established base. We have some EMP shockwave. We actually have defensive matrix going on for the Terran, and a great storm once again being casted here by the Terran. So the Terran shows us, so the Protoss is showing us the strength of those high temper storms, just like in any game. A very good unit to have, and remember, you can also spawn them into Archons. So quite a strong stuff here by the Protoss, as he's now pretty much in control of this game. And ARTOSIS just asked for the MMR on the opponent, as he knows that it was of course a very good game by him, very nice stuff by him, and he now has the upper hand. So ARTOSIS, I believe, going to need to be careful not to lose those SCVs. Sadly for him, a little bit of a miss, Michael. And yeah, the Protoss, like I told you, pretty much in control of this game, and this has to be, of course, the GG. ARTOSIS not GGing out, but still a very good game by him. However, the answer from the Protoss was, of course, the recalls that have pretty much crippled the economy right here into this location, and in the end the high templars with the storms pretty much finishing all of those clumped up together units. So yeah, high templar storm once again seems to be the answer into the late game for the Protoss versus the Terran, not only versus the Terran, versus the Zerg, and even versus the Protoss. So yeah, let's just check the... Once again, I'm going to be clicking left and right in case you guys are interested for those statistics. So yeah, very interesting game, a very long game, but in the end the Protoss proving to be a little bit too strong with the Arbiter gameplay and with the high Templar Storm splash damage versus the mech units from the Terran. Yeah, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be seeing, of course, in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.